And then you get, I see yesterday and today on Dr. Disrespect stream, Scott Gandhi says that ranked is supposed to come up. Well, they're targeting next Wednesday, but it may push out beyond that. So then when people ask me, I'm like, well, it should be next Wednesday, but
don't hold me accountable.
Don't kill me, because you're already all upset with me to begin with. So how's it going?
I like your background.
Oh, thanks. That's right. That reminds me, I gotta blur it.
You gotta blur it?
I gotta blur it a little bit.
That's good.
There we go.
I'm gonna do a few quick audio checks just to make sure I can record this.
Sounds good.
The thing I actually wanted to ask first, and I tend to ask this with all my guests when they come onto Roadcast, is what is your gaming history? I think it's good for your audience, good for my audience to know a little bit about you, where you started with games, and sort of how you've got to Rogue now.
Sure. So I started with, I don't know, like I started on the Nintendo 64 originally, which I don't know how old I was for that, but like the first main competitive-ish game that I ever played was Halo 2, which I don't remember when that even released. November 9th of 2004. So that's when I started, which is 15 years ago. That's when I got the first Xbox.
Nice.
So played on Xbox, played Halo 2, Call of Duty, Gears of War, the first one or two of those. Mostly first-person shooters, but I'd flex in things like Viva Pinata here and there.
Nice. Perfect.
So I mean, I played Just Cause, all sorts of crap. Over the years.
I love that, of course.
Yeah, and then as I went through high school, and then after high school, I played in like Oblivion and Skyrim. I love flexing in those kind of games, but then like my attention span went to shit. So now, I should ask, am I okay saying like that kind of word?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're good.
Okay, I won't go beyond that, but that's okay. So no, I flexed in those kind of games, and then I mean, I just like. So I was over on Mixer, partnered on Mixer for streaming from.
Okay.
I started there in May of 2019, and then I was partnered in April of this year, and then obviously Mixer got sold to Facebook. Yeah. Back in June.
So, why did you decide to go with Twitch rather than Facebook then? Because I know the partners from Mixer had that option.
Yeah, they had the option plus the payout to go over on Facebook. So I did the payout for the 20 hours a month over on Facebook, which ate into a lot of my time over on Twitch, because I work full time as an engineer during the day, and then I'll stream 4 or 5 days a week usually.
Wow.
So that took up 20 hours of my available streaming a month.
Wow. And then you've got the video.
Yeah. So then I was like, I realized I switched over to Twitch, right? Because I didn't want to stream on YouTube. It looked like it was way too difficult, and I didn't have any audience on YouTube. I had like 100 subscribers at the time, and I was like, okay, Facebook worked okay. Like there was a few times that I got picked up by their algorithm over there, and I had like 30, 40 viewers or something. Normally it was like 4 or 5 people that I just knew from Discord. But I wasn't too worried about it, so I was focusing on Twitch, and I was like, man, all the partners I knew over on Mixer that are now almost everybody moved to Twitch, and now some people are going over to Facebook because they're not finding success on Twitch. And I noticed that, so I was like, man, I could go back to Facebook and either become basically irrelevant or try to get picked up by the algorithm and be a Warzone or an Apex streamer, because that's pretty much all that's good to go over on Facebook.
Yeah, that's all I see over there really is those two things.
It's kind of the free games. It's very similar to Mixer, where it was kind of like the free-to-play console games that were really big battle royales, which is kind of what I've noticed on Facebook. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. I want to kind of be able to play what I want to play. So I was like, I guess I could focus on YouTube and see if I can do anything on YouTube. And I had made videos. I mean, you could look at my YouTube. I've had videos since 2007, and they're absolute trash. But I had worked on videos for a while, so I had some kind of level of experience with it for a long time, but at least familiar with it, and I had to learn a lot. I don't do much After Effects, but I've learned a decent amount of After Effects. And Premiere, I had to learn. Yeah, I suck at it too. I mean, it's like super specific, and it's usually like is it worth putting in the effort for something on After Effects for the reward of it? And to me, it's usually a no, but so dang, where was I even going with this? But
you started YouTube, still going to your transition into Twitch.
Yeah, okay. So it's probably like August time frame when Rogue Company comes out. And I was like, all right, well, I'll make some content for Rogue Company because 1, I think the game's interesting. 2, it's made by Hi-Rez, and I played Smite a ton. It's probably one of my top 3 played games, along with like Warframe and I don't know, something else. And I was like, okay, or probably Apex. And then I was like, all right, well, I'll make content for this. It's not a huge game. Maybe it'll get picked up. And that was during the closed beta. And the closed beta died pretty quick, or it felt like it did, because I'd get in matches with like the same people for literally hours on
after about
end.
2 weeks is when I would say.
Yeah, after about 2 weeks,
really
it was bad. So I made a video about it, and I was like, is the game dying? And that was the first video that I had that actually took off and did, I'd say like 2,000 views.
That blew up my recommended feed a lot, that video.
Yeah.
I actually have now only clocked that was you then, because I remember seeing that video and that title in my recommended feed a lot. And I was like, yeah,
that one got picked up for whatever reason. I don't know why. Like the click-through rate and all that stuff was fine. The watch time on it was decent, but people kept picking it. So that one kind of shot my channel. Like that was like the breakout video for me. And then when I heard that the game was going free to play, I was like, I have to get stuff out first. Because as you do more with YouTube, it's like you realize you have to be one of the first people to get content out if you want to get yours recognized. You have to have like a clickbaity but true title for your video so that people don't get upset. You've got a search engine optimization for your title, your description, your tags. And then have all that ready to go basically ASAP as some new update drops. And with Rogue Company, the best videos that come out are the ones where people are searching for what's in this patch or what's in this update.
News and stuff, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So
for sure.
What mine was I was like, well, the game's going free to play. This is the time where anybody that hasn't played it will play it. And then they did the big collaboration with 100 Thieves and Dr. Disrespect. So I'm like, the game's getting a lot of marketing, but there are almost no big content creators on YouTube that are covering this game. So there was a few 100%. Here and there that would touch it and then they'd just disappear. And a lot of them were there because they were getting sponsored. So I was like, well, I mean, I'm going to keep making content for it since nobody else seems to really be, that's like a sizable channel is really covering it that much. So yeah, I mean, I've just stuck with it. I've watched Google Trends trying to keep up to date with what are people searching for. A lot of it's, gameplay or, which rogues do people like, which weapons, kind of the standard
tier
stuff for any game.
Like
tier lists. Yeah, people love tier lists for Rogue Company specifically. Characters. Same kind of tropes.
All that stuff. I like what you said there about the you've got to get out first and you've got to put out a video with a clickbait but still true title. And I think that's so on the money of like the kind of title you need. And what really winds me up is overly clickbaited, right? Like for a while there was stuff where people would call it ranked, even though it wasn't a ranked game and stuff like that. Which I think they kind of took it too far. But I agree. And you need stuff that people want to see, and it's true.
Right.
And I really like that. So where do you think you fall into? Because there's different categories, right? And they're all very hard, with Rogue specifically, to get into. Is you have news and leaks, you have the guides, and you have the gameplay. Where do you fit in? Do you float between them? Like, what's your...
So what I've decided to start doing, just because I've realized that if I get a video out a day or every other day, the channel stays more relevant, it seems like, on YouTube, and that's across kind of any game or category or theme on YouTube. So what I've been trying to do, most of my stuff is guides, mostly guides or like just comparisons, even just for awareness, game awareness, I guess. So most of that. And then some people I noticed in the comments were like, will you ever do a gameplay video? I just want to watch like a chill gameplay video. And I saw that enough times where I was like, okay, well, I'll start just uploading some of my gameplay. And I saw other YouTubers that were pretty much primarily gameplay that were doing pretty well too. So I was like, well, if people want to watch it, I mean, I'll upload it. And it's significantly less work to do a gameplay video than it is to do a highly edited like guide video where you're comparing different perks. And like I script out probably 50% of those videos before I make them because I want them to flow well. And so I was like, okay, I mean, I can throw gameplay in there. It's no big deal. It's just a thumbnail and basically the gameplay, do a few quick edits at the start. And I mean, it's significantly easier for a creator to do that kind of stuff. So I started flexing a few of those in, like in the past. I think I've maybe had 4 or 5 gameplay videos, and all the rest have been some kind of like a guide, how-to, tips and tricks, character tier lists, weapon tier lists, perk tier lists, or comparison kind of stuff. So
hello.
All right, you're back. Perfect.
Yeah, you're back. Don't know what happened there.
All right, what'd you lose? Where was I?
Where did we get to? We got to.
I was talking
I'm
about
lost now. I'm frazzled.
the gameplay. I mean, I was just talking about gameplay versus
gameplay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
So I think like for sustainability for a lot of channels, I see like the biggest ones with like millions of subs that clearly have an editor and a thumbnail creator and all that stuff. I mean, it's usually just gameplay that's super edited. Either it's funny or it's a meme-tage or it's some kind of entertaining or some pro playing the game.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's the just kind of daily content upload is some kind of gameplay. So I was like, I might as well try to figure out how to make gameplay interesting, which I don't think I'm good at all.
Yeah, I'm actually the exact same boat. I really struggle with gameplay content. And so I move more to gameplay breakdowns. So I'll commentate over a gameplay and break it down. But with ranked coming out, everyone's going to want to see ranked content. We want to play ranked and do ranked content. So we can't, personally, that's what I'm trying to test the waters with at the moment, is getting that gameplay out. But your most recent video, you're getting ready for ranked, preparing for ranked, did pretty well. And it seemed, how did the feedback on that one come through?
So the reason that one did well is I don't think it's because it was better than any other gameplay video I have. It's just because it's keyword for ranked, people are searching for ranked. So it's just being picked up more frequently.
Exactly.
So like, sure, we're preparing for ranked, we're playing a demolition game, but I know, and I know a lot of other creators know that people are searching for ranked and competitive content. So putting that into a title or a description, and making it a demolition type style gameplay is going to do better than my one that I uploaded yesterday, which is playing as Dima on Extraction. Sure, the gameplay may be just the exact same. I've got the same people I'm playing with, but because it's Extraction and it doesn't have the word ranked anywhere in the title or description, it just did significant. It's like half as much views, half as many views as the ranked one. So but that's where people also get trapped too, because like a lot of people in the comments are like, they get upset with me or with others where they're like, why do you keep talking about ranked? You said it was going to come this week. I'm like, well, as far as we knew, it was coming in the next update, and kind of expected that to come with the Halloween sniper event. And then you get, I see yesterday and today on Dr. Disrespect stream, Scott Gandhi says that ranked is supposed to come up. Well, they're targeting next Wednesday, but it may push out beyond that. So then when people ask me, I'm like, well, it should be next Wednesday, but
don't hold me accountable.
Don't kill me, because you're already all upset with me to begin with. So
I'm very careful what I say when it comes to that. I'm very. My line is, this is what I think, but I have no clue. It's down to them. And then when Scott said he's targeting next Wednesday, I said they're aiming for this week. They're aiming for the coming week, but that means nothing. Realistically, we don't know. For sure. But how excited are you for ranked then? Like, this is
so
as
for me,
as a content creator and just a player.
Yeah, so for me, it's exciting to see that ranked is coming. Now, I have a bad taste for ranked because of the first couple seasons of Apex Legends and how campy they were. And like getting up to Predator in Apex was a absolute grind. It took me 299 games the first time to get to Predator. And knowing that, I'm not worried about ranked or the skill level that's in ranked. It's more, what is the grind to get to, like, I don't remember if it's diamond or whatever, or rogue. I know rogue's the top.
Rogue is top, then master, and then
master.
Standard, bronze, silver, gold, platinum.
Okay. So it's like, just what is the grind level to even go from master to rogue? And is rogue its own tier? Do you de-rank if you go from platinum down to gold?
That's true. That's a good question.
That's stuff that hasn't been answered really yet. So I'm excited for it, but I'm more about the nuances of, is it going to be super hard to get to rogue? Can anybody get to rogue? Is everyone going to cap out at masters, and it's going to be really hard to be the top 500 or something in the world or in the region or whatever? That's kind of more what I'm curious about. And with me, like, I've got my full-time job. I spend more time making YouTube content in a week now than I do streaming plus playing the game. So for me, it's like, man, I don't have nearly as much time as I used to just grind out ranked. So it'll be interesting. Like, I'll upload ranked gameplay and stuff, but there's no way that I'm gonna be, you know, one of the first people to rogue. There's no way. Like I won't have that content. So I've already accepted that, but
yeah, that's fair. You know, you find your niche there. I think. I thought I should say, because my brain has lost all train of it. I think the system, from everything it's said, and obviously again, don't shoot the messenger. I think it's going to be. I don't think they'll cap rogue because it's a level-based system, right? It's like an XP system, so you get levels every time you win. I think rogue is open to as many people who can win enough games, enough of a win percentage to get up there, right? Like it's going to be your standard. If you're hitting 78% win ratio for the first week or so that you're really hard grinding ranked, then you'll probably get to rogue, then you'll probably sort of level out as the better players there, go down to your 55% win ratio like other games, and that's how you stay in rogue, you know. That's my like thoughts on it, what I think it's going to be, just because it is that level system.
Right.
I like what you said about demoting, though. I don't know whether you would demote. Like maybe when you get to level 21, you can't go down to level 20, and when you get to level 22, you can't go down. I don't know. I feel like they would make you demote because they're cruel. But also, that's the only like way you can really like fit people in the right split, right? Like you get someone who just like does really well for 20 games in a row and then starts bombing. They need to be able to demote, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You actually mentioned there about a competitive play. Do you play any competitive play? Do you have like a team that you're with? Do you do any scrims or anything like that? Like, is that your scene, or do you sticking mainly to no? Is it something you've thought about or wanted to get into?
I mean, I was on, or I've competed before in like console tournaments for Apex back a year ago. I was signed to one esports org, like amateur esports org, and then another esports org right now. And I competed in those tournaments, and the problem that I had with them wasn't that, I guess there wasn't that, but the problem that I had was that it felt like I had to practice or had to commit more time to practicing than I wanted to, and I would prefer to just chill out and hang out with the stream. Because what I don't like is being so dead focused on the game that I feel like I'm ignoring the people that are watching. That's my main problem with competitive, and I don't have any problem outside of that. I'll watch the guys in like the CMG tournaments and stuff. I'll watch from the different perspectives on Twitch. So I have a good idea of kind of like how the meta shakes up, and I watch a lot of different people's stuff on YouTube. So I have a good idea of kind of like where things are at, but I personally haven't committed to any kind of a tournament. I'm not opposed to it, but if I have to dead laser focus for 4 to 8 hours a day, or not a day, but I guess like on a weekend, I usually don't have more than 4 to 5 hours to even stream in any given time block unless I like plan it out a week or two in advance. So yeah, how about you? Do you do any of that?
So that's actually how I get a lot of my b-roll for videos, and so I try and link the two in, because I agree with you. I do not like ignoring chat when I stream. I love to be engaging in chat. I think that's what people come to my chat for more than anything, is because I like to be engaging. The gameplay is, you know, obviously to the level that it needs to be, but I love interacting. I love having a laugh. There's all the memes, you know. I have a little bit of a dislike towards Anvil as a general concept of rogue. So like one of my emotes is Anvil crying.
Nice.
Whenever someone subs, I have to play Anvil. It's like that kind of thing. Like I love the chat engagement. And even like when just before this, I was watching your intro and stuff just before. And you were talking to chat, you've been reacting. That's the other thing I love. So I don't like scrimming on stream for too long. We have a set 1 hour scrim that we always do every weekday, and that I tell chat I'm focused on this. Between games, we can talk about it and stuff, but after that, come run strikeout with me, you know. So that's the way I like to do it, and that's I use streams to get a lot of b-roll for my like videos and stuff, because again I do guides, so you're commentating over things, so whatever the b-roll is generally good. So that tends to be my plan. But I do play competitive. We don't do a lot of CMG tournaments because I'm from the UK. They're all hosted about 1 a.m., 2 a.m. my time. That's the start. And they go on to like 7 a.m. And like I don't get a lot of sleep, but I like the little bit of sleep I do get. So I don't do CMGs. We do some of the bigger tournaments, like the more like weekly, monthly sort of event type ones. Like I was invited to do the .pro one, which is the invitational Incon tournament from Space Station Gaming. We were invited to go there. So they were really good. And that's kind of like where we put our focus.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's good. So yeah, I was interested whether you went competitive. I didn't know that you had a full-time job, or like that's what it is, a full-time job outside of streaming, because I see how much content you put in. I see, no being a content creator myself, I can see how much time you put into the videos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, what does this man sleep?
Yeah, no, I mean, in the month of October, not really. I mean, I've been staying up till 3 a.m. a lot of nights and getting up for around 6 a.m. for work. So
yeah,
I mean, that's not every day, but it has been, you know, several days a week for weeks now, just to get something out. And then I'll wake up at 6 and try to have, like, I'll finish the video at night. I'll stay up till 3 finishing the video. I'm like, man, I can't even think to make a thumbnail right now. So I'll wait till the morning. I'll make the thumbnail in the morning. I'll upload the entire video. But there's tricks too to like super speed up your production in Premiere or in kind of whatever software you're editing in. Like I pull all my assets from stuff I've created before. If I want to go for a similar look, I pull it all over from a thumbnail. It's super easy for me to whip out some of that stuff, which has saved me a ton of time. And a month ago when I first hit this really hard, I didn't know that. So like recently I haven't spent as much time to make similar content level videos, just because I've already done it so many times before that I can just go open up a different file, copy and paste it into my new video, and it's literally all done for me. So
I like to create a template video if I'm doing like a series of something. So if I'm doing, like, at the moment I'm doing rogue guides, so the complete rogue guides for every single rogue, and there's a general formula to how they go, and so I have there's a bit of a template just to load in first, then I can put all the footage together. And then Premiere editing is really good when you like learn to get quick at it, and you're like, cut this. Are you someone who sits in front of your camera and like records the whole commentary, or do you split it up? Like, what's your vibe?
It's interesting. So I'll tell you how I do it pretty much anyway, in every way I could do it. So I'll just I will record specific parts of a stream and I'll upload that as a gameplay video. Or I've done offline, I'll do either cam on or cam off, it's significantly easier to do a gameplay video for me, just to talk to the microphone basically with no one watching. I don't know if those are as entertaining though, because I don't always have a squad with me. So I'll do stream basically VODs and upload that for gameplay, or I'll do an offline VOD, upload that for gameplay. If I want to talk through stuff and be more like talking the entire time instead of having other people talk. And then I will do some scripted stuff. Like if I have a patch notes video and I want to make sure I'm getting everything correct, I'll copy paste the patch notes. I'll add in my own specific little notes, and then I'll pretty much read from the script just so that I can get that out as fast as possible without having to do too many edits. I cut out all dead air between, like when I take a breath in between sentences, I cut out the quarter of a second, half a second. It takes forever to edit that stuff out, but it adds so much to the flow of a video.
100%,
so I do that. And then the last one that I do is like for my entire video that I just did on aim assist, that one I was just talking to the camera and I had no script. So I just had like 5 bullet points that I wanted to talk about. And then what I did was I voiced over all of the stuff that I had in the video. So I had kind of like that B-roll-y stuff. But then I had the video, or I guess I had the video and then I just talked over it. So I was watching my Premiere file while I was talking. And then at specific parts of that video, I'd look at the camera and I would talk through it as if I was talking to the camera. So it was kind of like a story in a way where I'm talking about, this is what I'm going to talk about, and then kind of look at the screen. Here's what I'm talking about. Come back to the camera to like transition in between topics. So,
so you kind of dip into a bit of everything, which is good. But you mentioned that, and I mentioned beforehand, I want to talk about this, was your aim assist video that launched today. Very hot topic, particularly hot topic at the moment, because of the dead zone bug glitch. I don't know if do you know anything about the dead zone aspect of it?
So
like why?
I mean, you're talking about the one where you turn dead zone down to 0 and then you turn up aim acceleration, whatever it's called, the max. So I tried it, and I don't know if it is a glitch necessarily or not, or if it's intended. Have they confirmed that at all?
I don't think they've said anything. But like what it is, and the reason it happens because it's not actually a glitch. It's
Right.
just a just something neglected to think of. I think because aim assist doesn't activate as you sort of showed in your video unless you're strafing or your aim stick is activated and is moving.
Right.
So what dead zone does is it puts a like starting point for your aim to start moving. But when you turn it down to 0, it's always active. So it always thinks your thumbstick is ready for input. So that's why when people run across you, it drags it across. So it looks like aim assist is always happening. The actual strength of the aim assist is no different. It's just activating when it shouldn't normally activate, like when you're not doing anything, which makes like taking your right hand off the controller and just like peeking around a corner and shooting like without moving your thumbstick really easy. And that's kind of where this, I think the whole thing is done, because people have now noticed what you showed in your video, which is there is such a thing as aim assist. You know, and as I said, for your audience, I'm a controller player, you're mouse and keyboard. And I said to you in DMs, you did such good justice to both sides of the argument there in that video, because you were neutral, you were factual, and everything you said pretty much was right, for sure. And like I think you did a really good job on that video because it's such a hard video to do.
It is. It's hard to stay neutral on that topic. Well, not even so stay neutral, but just like do it in a way that it's not going to piss anyone off.
Yeah, like appear neutral at least. Like make it just factual. Like, this is it. This is unarguable. Right. And people don't like that. People don't like to have like unarguable content thrown at them as well.
Right. I'm surprised. I thought the comments on that would be a lot more toxic than they have been. So
yeah, I think this is the way you went through it. I definitely think you didn't leave a lot of room for someone to go like, well, you're just hating on controller because you're a mouse and keyboard player.
Right.
Because that's not what it was. I was very interested to see your gameplay difference between mouse and keyboard and controller actually in that video.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting because you said obviously you played controller for years and years and years. Then the last 6 months you just jumped over to mouse and keyboard.
Yep.
But your gameplay difference wasn't a lot. I would say you were more accurate on mouse and keyboard, but I think a lot of that comes down to the shoulder swap and the roll and just the more general flow of the mechanics.
Right.
But yeah, but a big thing I had with that is I think it's really hard for us as content creators who play this game a lot to actually distinguish the difference, because a massive thing in Rogue Company and a massive thing in third-person shooters is crosshair placement. And whether you're on mouse and keyboard or whether you're on controller, your crosshair placement is basically the same, right? Like, you know where to look. It may be slightly weirder to get that look, but you know where to look, right?
Right.
You know, when you walk around a corner, just because you switch to controller or you just switch to mouse and keyboard, you're not going to suddenly start looking at the sky. You know, you're going to be aiming towards their body or towards their heads.
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was really interesting to see the gameplay difference, because they were pretty much the same, right?
Yeah.
And when I did my video like months and months ago, when the game first launched and this debate started, and I was having none of it, because no one knew what aim assist was. Like, the same way you described it, no one actually understood that. Everyone just thought it was your standard Modern Warfare 2 pat, lock onto targets, GTA kind of aim assist.
Yeah. And it's hard to it's really hard to like be on one side of it and say there's not aim assist, or be on mouse and keyboard and say there's a ton of aim assist if you haven't actually yourself done both. Because one thing that like you can watch both perspectives that I have in that video and say, okay, well, he's aiming this way or that way, and like it's super obvious for me on a controller being like, holy crap, like I'm not making some of these motions while I'm playing. But to a viewer or to like a video, it just looks like it's no different. So it looks like I'm aiming, but I'm like feeling like, okay, I barely moved my stick on that one. It just tracked. It just tracked the person, and I can't explain or show that, you know, in the video. So
I noticed with your sense, you quite a low sense on mouse and keyboard, like 2.5 or something, right?
Yeah.
So right. It's low. Do you use quite big arm movements?
I've got. Yeah, not a ton. I mean, I know some people that have like literally a mouse or a mouse pad that's vertical and like horizontal and massive. Like, I've got probably your average. I mean, I don't know if you've got the stream up right now, but like my mouse pad's that wide and about that tall. So I've got a decent amount of space, but nothing like crazy. I don't think I need more though. I think I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. So when you try and like but when you're trying to like move all that down to your thumb, it
Yeah.
feels so weird, doesn't it? And it's like
Yeah.
it's so both ways. And I'm so neutral on the topic. I don't care whether you use mouse or keyboard. I don't care whether you use controller. I think there's a level of pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
For sure. Like if I'm sniping, I would love to have a mouse in my hand any day of the year. Personally, because I love the click on the head kind of feel of it. Whereas I think controller's better at drag shotting for like I'm flicking between targets,
sure.
not as quickly, but like to actually hit the shot. So yeah, I think there's a lot of pros and cons with it, but I think you did the video really well. And I did want to just commend you for that because that's a hard video. I know that struggle.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I was like, how do I go about this video? Like, I got to break it down first before I get to the gameplay of it. So, or else people are going to be like, just disregard everything else. So,
yeah, for sure.
I think it went okay.
So, you did mention a little bit earlier that when you first started in closed beta, you started in closed beta, right? You didn't start in alpha?
Yeah, I started in closed beta back in, God, was that July? I think that closed beta?
Yeah,
end of July?
Late July. Like
yeah, late July.
Week of July or something.
Yeah, that's when I started. How about you?
So, yeah, but exactly the same. Like the week the game launched, it popped up on like a video, like a YouTube video ad or something, and I was like, "Oh, that looks fun!" And I just started making content on Warzone at the time, and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna load up this game. I'm gonna literally run through the tutorial, run through one match, record it, put it up, and see if I like the game, see if the content's there, whatever it is, and then from that video." It hasn't been daily since then, but since like a week after that, it's been daily videos since then.
Yeah.
And I love the game so much. But you mentioned that it has had a bit of up and down in terms of popularity. At the start, its Twitch popularity was really low.
Yeah.
A bit better now.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it was awful.
Really bad. Like less than 500 at some times of the day. Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah. Where do you see the game going forward then? Where do you think, how big do you think it'd be?
So there is something to say about the game. I don't know if it's true though, but like Hi-Rez has a really bad reputation for building a game up at the start and then not killing it off, but just not giving it the attention that it needs. Yeah. And with this one, I feel like it's going really well and they're communicating with the community, and I don't see that happening, but in the back of my head, I'm still thinking it could still happen. I don't know if dev support may get pulled after the game's gone, quotes, full release or whatever. Yeah. Like I can't imagine it right now with how much traction they're getting. It's pulling bigger numbers than they've ever seen on any other game ever. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's going to go south, but I do think that in terms of content creation, we're going to have ranked, we're going to have the battle pass and equipment mastery for this year. And then going into the future, it's going to be, a rogue release every month and a half. Yeah. It's going to be some patches. And then it's going to be a new season of ranked, a new battle pass. And that's kind of going to be the regurgitated content along with, tournaments or pro play and all that.
All that stuff of rank play and whatnot and stuff. I think it'll definitely transition to gameplay focus for most content creators, and then the occasional guide and news update on the side and things like that. I definitely think that will be the direction it goes as well.
Right.
And that's what rank brings, though, isn't it? Because people want to see the competitive edge of it. You said it earlier. Ranked is so searched. Competitive tournament, that's also searched in Google and for Rogue Company. So it's definitely going to go that way, for sure.
Right.
But it's interesting. I do think it could go well. I think the esports scene will take off. I'm really hoping, and I agree with what you said about the devs being really good at the moment. Being really communicative and just really try, to putting in effort. And I had heard similar things like Hi-Rez aren't very good at maintaining game popularity.
Yeah.
Or they tend to do just worse versions of other games, right? Like Paladins is a worse version of Overwatch, Smite of League of Legends, and things like that. And that's always been Hi-Rez's stereotype.
Right.
But I think Rogue's got it. I think Rogue has the potential for sure.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. It's kind of its own thing. I mean, people say it's Valorant or it's CS:GO or it's a ripoff of Overwatch, and I'm like, I mean, it kind of feels like its own game once you get into it. So
yeah. Well, we're coming to the end, but I do have to give you some quick fire questions.
Sure.
Just for fun. I actually just saw that mention one of them. Favorite rogue?
Favorite rogue? I think it's only because of who she pairs with, but right now it's Dahlia. I take that back. I think Trench is my favorite, And the reason I like Trench is because he has so much utility.
Yeah.
With his grenades and active protection systems. I know he's getting his nerf here pretty soon with tenacity getting removed, helping hand getting added.
It's a buff.
Yeah, because he doesn't need tenacity. So
no.
I just think he's one of the, I really like the idea of Vi as well.
Have you picked her up much?
Yeah, I've been playing with her more often. Like I just played before I started talking with you. I was playing a game off stream, off cam, as Vi. I really like the idea of the poison pools and being able to get armor. I guess from that. I really like her. And I used to really like Talon, but I haven't touched him nearly as much as I used to. So
yeah, I like this. There's some good rogues.
Yeah, how about you?
Okay. I'm a real flex because I play comp. I need to flex a lot of things. So currently, whatever's meta, I don't like Anvil. That's the one thing. I think even if it becomes the hardest meta, I can't play Anvil. I just refuse to. The joke's gone too far. It needs to stay that way.
Yeah.
But Dahlia is a really big pick of mine. She's the first I got to Mastery 10 just because she came out as the Mastery system came out, and I just grinded her in solos. Lance is a big one because she's so hard to deal with. I mean, Vi has been a favorite of mine for a really long time. She was so underrated for so long, and now she's being picked up. And then probably Shark was the first rogue I really played. But
I feel like Shark is everyone's first rogue. I don't know why.
I think he just looks so badass with the bandana.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, you know what? Maybe it was
it's
the whole
probably
COVID
this
thing. Maybe everyone was just like, hey,
there you go. He's got a mask on. He's safe.
I can relate.
Yeah.
Maybe if I play him, it would look cool when I wear mine.
Yeah.
Okay, then other question I have for you. Why do you like Stalker perks so much?
Why do I like Stalker?
Yes, why do you buy Stalker as your first perk most games I've seen you play?
So for me on now, so this might be a PC versus controller thing.
It might be.
So like with PC, I can just hit A and D and strafe left and right. And with the DMR meta that exists right now, me playing pretty much Trench or Dahlia almost every game, which I'm trying to switch up more because people are like, I'm sick of watching Dahlia and Trench gameplay. Stalker in and out of cover just with the jiggle peeking it just feels like it's significantly quicker. And a lot of times like I'll notice if I'm going against a team and they're not throwing grenades, I'm not going to pick up tenacity because if they're not using it, I'm not playing competitively in those matches. I'm not going to use it. I'd rather try to get more kills. So Stalker tends to let me do that. I feel that. Never pick up the 10,000 perks. I spend almost all my money on the grenade upgrades.
You don't buy Lifeline, do you? I think you might, but you prioritize Lifeline, and that and the Stalker over tenacity. When I watched your rank video, I'm not gonna lie, hurt my soul, and I had to ask because I'm like, they're the two things she needs, tenacity and Lifeline, and you went for Stalker and like the grenade or smoke upgrade or something, and it hurt me. It hurt me.
I prioritize getting that basically. Well, if you're with a Trench, you get that extra smoke, and if you have the 2, then you're up to the 3 smokes or whatever. So I always prioritize getting the smokes first, or I always get a frag, and then, which is probably not the right thing to do, but I always get a frag, and then I get I try to upgrade the perks. I rarely upgrade my gun. Rarely.
The DMR you don't need to too much.
So I rarely upgrade the DMR, but normally it's the utility over the perks for me, because I don't see the perks, I guess, as important per round as I do the utility.
That makes sense. I think,
and that's me coming from not I don't play in the tournaments and stuff, although I know those guys will.
It's probably a comp thing because like you're right, like yes, you should focus utility, right? But when they focus utility, you then need to focus the counter utility as well. And the better players in comp are focusing the utility, so there's a bit of a payoff. Okay, I need to ask, particularly the Stalker, because I don't use Stalker. I don't like Stalker. So when I saw you buying it so often, I had to ask the question of what
it's good.
And then another question, where do you, I think you kind of answered it, depending on how hard of a grind it is, say it's just like kind of what I said, you just have to win a certain amount of matches at a certain win percentage. What rank do you think you'll be able to get? Do you think you'll be able to go all the way to Rogue?
If I had the time to do it, yeah, I could get there. Like realistically though, I don't know what the grind level is going to be. Like if it's a solid, if it takes like 30 hours to get to Rogue, if you're, winning most of your games, 75% of your games, then yeah, I could get there. I also don't know what the length of the ranked beta is going to be. Is it going to be a month or 2 months? Like I haven't seen any info on that either.
Yeah, because we're coming to the end of phase 3, really, aren't we? So,
yeah, and it's
into phase 3. The game launches, doesn't it, in theory? So
yeah. I mean, in theory, the roadmap would state that. So yeah, I guess we would expect ranked for 2 months. So is it possible? Yeah, but you ask, do you think you could get there? And it's more just because it's so not elo, true skill based, where it's just you have to win games to rank up. I mean, you really have to depend on your team too.
Yes.
So I don't have a staple team that I really play with, outside of like a couple guys. So with the people that are in comp, like they've got the people they play with every day for several hours a day, and I play with a few people a few hours a week. So
it's very true. I'm pretty sure at this point they're not separating queues from solo queue to team queue, and that saddens me. I did ask Scott, and he's never answered fully. He's replied, but he's never given a straight answer. We ended up talking about Halo, and he said and Halo matchmaking, and he was like, "Oh, in Halo they just sort of did it through the matchmaking, like they really tried to pair teams with teams and solos with solos." So I feel like that was a hint towards there's not going to be separate queues. Which hurts me deeply again. This is almost a better stalker. That's tough. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. It should be good. I'm very excited for where this game goes, and obviously content wise, but just generally as a player, like take away the content, I would still be playing this game. I love this game so much. I'm sure you're the same.
It's a good game.
Even with your time. Cool. That's going to take us to the end of the podcast, though. What I do like to do is just let you plug for my audience anything that you would like to plug, whether it be your Twitch, your YouTube, your Twitter. You can plug everything and everything.
Okay. All right. I guess anywhere it's just DieHardGG on Twitch, YouTube, I guess Instagram. I don't really use that much. Twitter. But I mean that's everywhere. And then if you want to call yours out too, I'll shut you out again in my chat here, but
so for me it's on Twitch it's Raddar Gaming, on YouTube it's just Raddar, and on Twitter it's just @Raddar. There you go.
Awesome.
It's linked in the chat, my Twitch.
Awesome.
There you go. But no, thank you for being on. I really appreciate it. It was a good chat.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there you go.
Talk to you later.
Okay. Can't talk to you later.
Yeah.
I'm ending my recording. I will just do a little deep.
All right.
Thank you for being on. That was really fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was good. And thank you to some of your viewers for coming and following me. I appreciate
that. What time is it where you're at right now?
It's currently fine. It's 8:45.
Okay.
In the evening.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we should jump in some games together. Not now, but like at another point. We should, especially when rank comes out. If you're looking for teammates, I'll happily do a queue with you.
I will definitely be looking for teammates.
I'm so afraid to go into that solo. Like I kind of like hit it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd touch it solo. I mean, it's almost a D-ranking experience at that point. So.
Literally. But we should obviously keep in touch. I really enjoy your content. And we should definitely jump some games at some point.
Sounds good.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for being on.
Yeah, see ya.
I'll upload this because I can't end the conversation. Clearly, I have a problem. I will upload this tomorrow at 6 p.m. my time, which is 1 p.m.
1 p.m. my time. All right.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Sounds
Thank
good.
You. Enjoy the stream.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
All right. That was Raddar Gaming. I'll put him down in the description below for those of you that are watching right now on Twitch. This is for YouTube. I'm going to put his links down in the description below.